Imagine waking up one morning and seeing the sky a little darker than usual, the wind whispering secrets, and the world feeling heavy in a way you can't quite explain. Now imagine hearing God's voice calling your name, asking you to do something so big that everyone around you would laugh and say it's impossible. That's exactly where our story begins today, and if you've ever felt different, brave, or chosen to do the right thing even when others don't, then this story is especially for you. So stay with me, because this is not just a story about an ark and animals, it's a story about faith, obedience, and hope when the whole world seems lost. Long ago, the world was very different from the one we live in today. People had forgotten how to love one another. Instead of kindness, there was anger. Instead of helping, there was hurting. Everywhere God looked, he saw fighting, cruelty, and sadness filling the hearts of people. But among all of this darkness, there was one man who still chose goodness. His name was Noah. Noah was not perfect, but he loved God, listened to him, and tried every day to do what was right. God saw Noah's heart and knew that he could be trusted with something very important. One day, God spoke to Noah in a clear and gentle voice. God told Noah that the world had become too full of evil and that a great flood was coming to wash it clean. But God also promised hope. He told Noah that he would save him, his family, and the animals of the earth. God gave Noah very special instructions. He told him to build a huge boat called an ark, bigger than anything anyone had ever seen before. This ark wouldn't be for sailing the seas for fun. It would be a floating home, strong enough to protect life during the greatest storm the world would ever know. Now imagine how Noah must have felt. He lived far from the ocean. Rain like this had never happened before. And yet, Noah trusted God. He didn't argue. He didn't say, "That sounds impossible." Instead, he said yes. Day after day, Noah began building the ark exactly the way God told him to. It took many years. People walked by and laughed at him. They pointed, whispered, and mocked. "Why are you building a boat on dry land?" they asked. But Noah kept working, because he knew that obeying God was more important than pleasing people. As the ark slowly took shape, God gave Noah another amazing instruction. He told him to bring animals into the ark. Not just a few, but pairs of every kind. 2 lions, 2 elephants, 2 giraffes, 2 birds, 2 tiny mice, and animals Noah had never even seen before. Can you imagine that sight? Animals walking from every direction, peacefully coming together, guided by God himself. Noah didn't have to chase them or trap them. God sent them, and they came willingly, step by step, into the ark. Noah's family helped him care for the animals. They prepared food, water, and places for every creature. The ark became filled with sounds of life, roaring, chirping, stomping, and squeaking. Outside, the sky grew darker, and the air felt heavy with coming rain. God gave people one last chance to turn back, but they ignored the warning. Noah and his family stepped into the ark, trusting God completely. Then something incredible happened. God himself closed the door of the ark. The rain began softly at first, like gentle taps on wood. But soon, it poured harder and harder. Rain fell from the sky, and water burst up from the ground. Rivers overflowed, and the land disappeared beneath the flood. The ark rocked and swayed, but it did not sink. God protected every life inside. Inside the ark, Noah and his family prayed and waited. The storm raged on for days, then weeks. Outside was chaos, but inside the ark was safety. The animals rested. The family stayed together. Even when the world seemed completely changed, God was still in control. And that's something very important to remember. Even when things feel scary, confusing, or overwhelming, God never forgets those who trust him. The rain finally stopped after 40 long days and nights. But the water remained, covering the earth like a vast ocean. The ark floated peacefully, carried by God's promise. Noah waited patiently. He trusted God's timing, knowing that when the moment was right, God would lead them forward into a new beginning. Now imagine the silence after the storm. No rain. No thunder. Just the gentle rocking of the ark on calm waters. Inside, Noah and his family listened carefully, wondering what would come next. Days passed, then weeks, and still they waited. You see, trusting God doesn't always mean things happen quickly. Sometimes faith means waiting patiently, even when you really want answers right now. Finally, Noah felt something different. The ark came to rest on solid ground. Can you imagine the relief? The ark had landed on a mountain, and for the first time in a long while, there was hope of dry land again. Noah didn't rush out. Instead, he waited for God's signal. He sent out a raven, which flew back and forth. Then he sent a dove. The dove returned with nothing. Noah waited a little longer and sent the dove again. This time, the dove came back holding a fresh olive leaf in its beak. That tiny leaf meant everything. It was a sign that life was returning. At last, God spoke to Noah and told him it was time. The doors of the ark were opened, and fresh air filled the space. One by one, the animals stepped out, stretching their legs and exploring the new world. Birds flew into the sky. Animals ran across the land. The earth was clean, fresh, and ready for a new beginning. Noah and his family stepped out last, their hearts full of gratitude. The first thing Noah did was thank God. He built an altar and offered his gratitude, showing love and respect for the God who had saved them. God was pleased with Noah's faithfulness. Then God made a promise, not just to Noah, but to every living creature on earth. God promised that he would never again destroy the whole world with a flood. To seal this promise, God placed a beautiful rainbow in the sky. Think about how amazing that must have been. Bright colors stretching across the clouds, shining after the storm. Every time we see a rainbow today, it reminds us of God's promise, His mercy, and His love for the world. The rainbow tells us that no matter how dark the storm is, it will not last forever. Light always follows. God gave Noah and his family a new mission. He told them to fill the earth again, to care for it, and to live with kindness and respect. The animals spread across the land, beginning new lives. The world was different now, but it was full of hope. Noah's obedience had saved life, and his story became a reminder for generations to come. This story isn't just about something that happened long ago. It's about choices we make today. Like Noah, we are sometimes asked to do the right thing even when others don't understand. We may feel alone, laughed at, or unsure. But when we listen to God and follow His guidance, we become part of something much bigger than ourselves. For children watching this story, remember this. You don't have to be the strongest, the loudest, or the most popular to make a difference. You just need a heart that listens and a spirit that trusts. Noah wasn't chosen because he was famous. He was chosen because he was faithful. And for parents and families watching together, this story is a reminder that faith begins at home. Noah's family entered the ark together, supported one another, and survived together. Love, patience, and trust in God can guide families through even the biggest storms. As the sun set on that new world, Noah and his family looked toward the future with hope. The same God who guided the ark through the flood was now guiding them into tomorrow. And that same God watches over us today, reminding us through every rainbow that His promises never fail. So the next time you see rain falling from the sky, remember Noah. Remember the ark. Remember that storms may come, but faith carries us through. And just like Noah's story, your story is still being written, filled with